Here's how to use Refinery in less than 5 minutes. Let's start with a new project. We're going to use the clickbait sample project, which contains normal as well as clickbaity news headlines. Choose Initial to only get the data. Once the project is initialized, Refinery will automatically direct us to the overview page. At the moment, this page is very empty, so we'll check it out later. Instead, we'll jump right into the data browser to inspect our data. We can see that our data contains a running ID, which is a unique identifier for the data, as well as a single headline for each record. It also says that there are no embeddings, so let's click on the gear icon and go to the settings page to see what that's all about. The settings page has 3 very important sections. The schema section depicts all of the attributes of your data and their respective data types. This is also the place where you can upload new records, download all records, or even add new attributes, for example using our open source content library Bricks. If you are familiar with NLP, then you know that embeddings are a vector representation of your text data carrying semantic information. These embeddings are key for features like neural search, active learning, or zero-shot classification. These embeddings can be created with state-of-the-art transformer models like BERT, which names you can simply copy from Hugging Face and then paste them right here. Then there are labeling tasks. In our case, we want to label our headlines to classify them if they are clickbait or not. Besides classification, we can also set up a labeling task for entity extraction. For example, if we want to extract names or locations in our headlines. After we've created a labeling task, we can go right to the labeling page. Refinery handles manual labeling in so-called labeling sessions, which contain a sequence of 1000 records per session. The labeling suite is very powerful because it is extremely customizable to all your labeling needs. After we've labeled some data manually, we might notice a pattern in our data. In our case, we notice that a lot of the clickbaity headlines start with a number. Knowing this, we can move to the heuristics page and create a labeling function. With these functions, we can transfer domain knowledge programmatically into our labeling. As you can see, this function right here found quite a lot of records, considering it's only 3 lines of code. Truly powerful. You might also remember that we created an extraction task to label names. All these names also get saved to a separate lookup list. You can leverage these lookup lists and also use them to speed up the labeling process. In a labeling function, we can import a lookup list like this and then return a label if a term appears in our record. We can also use something called an active learner. The active learner is a simple machine learning model that learns on already manually labeled reference data and then makes a prediction on the rest of the data. These models can be very simple. For example, a logistic regression will do just fine, because all of the heavy lifting was already done by the transformer during the embedding phase. Finally, we can use weak supervision to combine all of our label sources into one weakly supervised label. Back in the overview page, we can now see that most of our data is now labeled. We can also easily find out where and what labels we can improve by looking at the confidence distribution. In the data browser, we can then inspect the data with a low confidence score and improve our labels quickly. Okay, so this was a lot of dense information. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. You can also watch one of our other videos if you like to dive deeper. Thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!